Thank you. Hockey is at its greatest when it defies logic, and that would be the 2021 Montreal Canadiens, the 16th seed, the last qualifier in what was supposed to be the worst division in the NHL. At least that's what everybody said. They were supposed to get pounded by Las Vegas, and instead, here they are in the Stanley Cup Final. There's Dave Poulin, Darren Dreger, and Jamie McLennan. How can this happen? How can a team that looked lost a couple of months ago now be in the final?
It's not how, it's wow. And it's wow with a capital W. You know, they are a team built for the playoffs, but they're built in a sense of a true team where every single person had to contribute to be successful, and every single person did. I'm watching the faces and the emotions, particularly the guys that are going to the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time. Absolutely overpowering.
Yeah, no one more emotional than the general manager of the Montreal Canadiens, Marc Bergevin. I mean, there he is at ice level with his captain, with the players, and celebrating the semifinal win. Look, they say that teams get stronger through adversity, and Bergevin has faced adversity. The coaching staff, now interim coach Luke Richardson, has certainly gone through that with Dom Ducharme on the sidelines. But in the moment, there's nothing but celebrating and looking forward to their next opponent. They're headed back to the Stanley Cup Final.
And on the ice, they found a winning formula. It's strong, systematic play, playing in five-man units in front of the goaltender in all three zones. And then if it does get past them, they've got an all-world goaltender that gives them confidence night in and night out and makes those big saves and delivers wins.
Well, I said, how did this happen? I meant it in the big philosophical way, but before the game, I said, how would it happen? How could they win this game? And Coach Poulin gave us three things that needed to happen, and they got all three, Dave.
Well, their winning formula was to score the first goal of the game. They did that. They won the special teams battle. And really it was about belief, and on the winning goal, that belief just shone through. Maybe fitting that a Carey Price save starts the whole thing. And then Brendan Gallagher, heart and soul. And Dano draws White Cloud over a little bit. Just a picture rush goal. When they were at their best, they were great on the rush. What a time to be great on the rush.
For the last couple of years, Jamie, you've had to defend Carey Price. A lot of critics saying the contract becoming a problem, that his numbers no longer justify him being called one of the best goalies in the world, and you've kept saying he is right there along with Vasilevsky, and he's showing it in these playoffs. Describe this performance.
I don't have to defend the contract anymore, especially the people in Montreal, but I'm going to go at it with a different attack. Than next time, I'm going to say there's a regular season Carey Price, and then there's a playoff Carey Price, because he's been brilliant at key times. And it's all about that calming presence. You make the big save at the right time, it instills confidence in the group. And we saw it against the Toronto Maple Leafs, we saw it against the Winnipeg Jets, and no bigger moments than in elimination games, and especially in this game. You needed big saves at the right time, and it was Carey Price that delivered them. And all he does is gives this group confidence, and that's why they're in the finals.
Hard to believe when we watched him in this game, in this series, that Cole Caulfield was sitting in a suit watching Game 1 against Toronto. And I think Dregs, down the road, if he becomes the star that we expect him to become, we'll look back at this series as the time he officially arrived.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, Cole Caulfield has played 15 Stanley Cup playoff games, and already he's proven to all of us that he is a big game player. And maybe it was the experience of the Vegas Golden Knights that this is classic Cole Caulfield here. This is an intentional chip over Braden McNabb's stick. Now, once he gets the puck up and over, now he's got good position. He keeps his feet moving, and he's going to cut to the inside past McNabb and dart straight for Robin Lehner. Now, Lehner's probably wondering, okay, is it 5-hole? Is it glove high? What's he going to do? There is the speed, there is the vision, and there is the goal-scoring execution of Cole Caulfield. A tremendous story.
Well, it was strange. He sort of was the playmaker to Suzuki earlier on in these playoffs, but his name is goal for a reason, and we saw it in this series. Cole Caulfield scores 4. Vegas' top 6 forwards score 2 in the entire series. One of many reasons Montreal is off to the Stanley Cup Final. Thank you. It feels like forever ago. It was only a month when Montreal trailed Toronto 3-1 in the series, looked down and out, declared dead by pretty much everybody, guilty. And then we get what will be, if the Habs win the Stanley Cup, one of the greatest TSN Turning Point copyrights, Pooley, in the history of TSN Turning Point copyrights.
It really was. It was the overtime goal in Game 5, and maybe fitting that it was 21-year-old Nick Suzuki and 20-year-old Cole Caulfield that really vaulted their team to another level. Caulfield picks off the errant pass. They're going down 2-0. They give it to the goal scorer, Caulfield. He gives it back to Suzuki, and he bangs it in. And from that point forward, the Montreal Canadiens were a different team. That goal literally elevated every single player. And it just carried through. Everybody contributed. I think that was the moment this became a hockey team.
Since then, 11-2. And if they do a 30 for 30 film on the Habs PK, they can call it 30 for 30 because that's what they have been. 13 straight games without allowing a power play goal, Noodles, which is, look, there are a lot of reasons they're in the Stanley Cup Final, but that has to be right near the top of the list.
Absolutely. They've been brilliant on the penalty kill, and I've talked about a formula as far as 5-on-5, a winning formula. Well, they found a real successful formula on the penalty kill, and it starts by being aggressive all over the ice, having great sticks in the lanes, taking away passes, protecting the house, so shrinking it, forcing everything to the outside, blocking shots, 200-foot clears, and trusting the goaltender to make big saves when you need him to do that. And that's what they've been able to do time in, time again, and it's been impressive, and you can tell that their confidence has grown. And again, Vegas, for example, you can see that Vegas started to struggle, and that's where their penalty kill got more and more aggressive, and they were able to completely shut them down.
In the last 4 years, no team has played more playoff games than the Las Vegas Golden Knights, which is ludicrous in their first 4 years in the league. But still, this one has to sting after they eliminate the President's Trophy winners in Colorado and what people said was a Stanley Cup Final worthy series. And Dregs, everyone will talk about the goaltending and the back and forth, but in the end, did it really matter when you look at these numbers? When the top 6 forwards score only 2 goals in this entire series.
But Mark Stone goes throughout this series without a point. 0 goals. He was asked whether or not he was injured post Game 6. He said no. This is Game 5. That's a show of frustration, obviously, from Mark Stone. We saw it more than once. He just didn't seem to have the flair. Alex Pietrangelo, well, he showed his frustration in Game 6. He took the penalty, the Montreal Canadiens score on the power play. He was the Vegas Golden Knights' top player, a defenseman. The forward core for the Vegas Golden Knights, whether they used it all against the Colorado Avalanche or not, they did not have it going against Montreal.
There are so many layers to this underdog story for Montreal, including the fact that their coach, after Game 2 of the series, is lost to COVID and COVID protocols, and still somehow, Pooley, they don't miss a step. How?
What should have been a really challenging situation for that coaching staff was handled flawlessly by everyone involved. By Dom Ducharme, who did things by Zoom call and had to sit in isolation. By Luke Richardson, who steps in as the head coach in the NHL for the first time. He'd been a head coach in the American Hockey League for 4 years, and he'd been an assistant in the NHL for 7 years, including 3 in Montreal. Alex Burrows, a young coach, didn't miss a beat supporting Luke Richardson. And Sean Burke, who I'm not sure has even been on a bench before, maybe in the World Championships, filled the part every bit as needed. That coaching staff gets a lot of credit, and the players also get a lot of credit because they responded in a big way.
They won 24 games in the regular season. They've already won half as many in these playoffs with 12. And if they win 4 more, it will be one of the more improbable Stanley Cup wins since maybe the Habs' last one in '93.